So,
Hi.
Willis-san, welcome to
Yeah.
my podcast. So, I
Yeah.
already know you that it's you start learning with us. When I met you
Mm,
just a couple of months ago, you said that you want to go to Japan. You're actually going to Japan already. Even you
mm,
want to go more. That's why you want to
mm,
learn Japanese. And during the
mm,
master call, you start taking a lot of TikTok contents. I didn't really expect that you really started
mm,
speaking Japanese in front of the camera. So, I want to
mm,
know you better, and people want to know you
mm.
better too. So can you tell me like where you're living, what do you do for living, and why you're learning Japanese?
Okay, so for me, I'm a Singaporean. I live in Singapore. Yeah, and I think for me, every year I try to do something different. Yeah, so this year happens to be the year I think language, yeah, stood out for me. And I think for most Singaporeans, when it comes to learning a new language, it's either Japanese, Korean, or Thai in terms of Asian languages. And for me, I was like, I have more interest in Japanese rather than the rest. Maybe because there's kanji, so it's like Chinese, so I think I can relate to it more. Plus also I think in the culture of Japan, yeah, I think I like it more. So I've been to Japan a few times, like but it's always a pity that I have to use like a translator, yeah, or I can ask them to speak English and stuff. Yeah, I thought it'd be nice if you really want to immerse yourself in a country, then speak the language. Yeah, and I think the way they see you is also different. So what I do, professional level, so I'm a certified financial planner. So I work with people on their finances, be it insurance or investments, and I also build a team. Yeah, so I have some teammates. Yeah, we are all self-employed. Yeah, I think through this journey of learning a new language, it also has helped me to build more resilience. Yeah, because honestly, at the age of 36, learning a new language is very tough. Yeah, it's really very tough. But I'm glad. I think through GLF teaching method, it has helped me to really, it has really helped me to push my limits. Like, yeah, just try it. Yeah, even if it sounds funny, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and stuff. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much where I am right now.
Thank you so much. Then, in this, era, we have so many ways to learn Japanese. Now it's like ChatGPT is really changing the world. A lot of people actually start learning that with the AI or like a new technology like AI. But over the thousands of the choice, why you chose Japan Language Factory specifically?
So, I mean, honestly, I tried a few ways of learning. So my first experience was with group class, as usual, go for a group class in Singapore. I think that was when I started with all the hiragana stuff. Then after that, it was a 1 month thing. Then I mean, basics and all those things, I think that's fine. So there's a lot of repetition. Then, but I realized that they use textbooks material, which is okay. I mean, that's the usual how we do it. But I guess the biggest difference now is if I'm still young, I have all the time that I can learn. Then I think textbook materials, it works. Yeah. But right now, as adult learners, we don't really have the time to do that. And most of the time, the scenarios that textbook use is not something that I use on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. So yeah, to a point, sometimes I was like, why am I learning this? I don't even get to use this conversations with people. Then that was when I started self. So I stopped going for group classes. I tried to learn myself, and I think it's so tough because it's contents everywhere. I don't even know am I correct or not. Then there's no structure. Then all the way until I chanced on, and yeah, it's like an advertisement, something like I think maybe because I was in Japan, I saw that learn how to speak Japanese in 2 months. So I was like, wow, this copyright is so good. Yeah, I need to meet the founder. Yeah, because marketing and stuff. Yeah, so I mean different elements on the business side of things, and also I think the process of learning the language. Then yeah, so eventually, I got to know Japan Language Factory more. Then I realized that over there, it's very interesting. They don't really teach you on like writing per se, and they made it clear. Like if you want to come to JLF, it's really about speaking and listening. Yeah, the rest you own self study, something like that. Yeah. So for me, I came in with that, I think, that expectation. So yeah, then I saw how the classes were being taught, and the coaches, like my coach, we literally just chatted, and anything that I do not know, I ask him, and he'll tell me how does it work. Yeah, so I think the beauty of GLF is you can customize the learning in terms of what you want to learn. Yeah, for me, I'm not so concerned about the day-to-day situations like hobbies, interests, and all those things. Yeah, not so much for me, but I'm more interested in my own life, like let's say maybe sometimes more complex situations like my work stuff. Yeah, I meet a client, this client says buy spot something, didn't buy something, I feel sad, I feel happy, blah blah blah. Yeah, those kind of things. And I realize this method works for me because then I get to internalize the words that's being used. Yeah, then I remember it better. So yeah, so fast forward, I mean now it's about I think it's about close to 5 months. Yeah, and yeah, honestly, if I look at the past document, the notes that I have, I'm like, oh wow, okay, I actually had a lot of sentences that yeah, just that now, yeah, need to really internalize it. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Amazing. It's a lot of many factors, how do you really make a time with your really busy schedule? Because I know your Instagram, you have lots of conference, business
Mm,
meeting, you have
mm, mm.
work, and usually how do you really make a time, or how to motivate yourself to make a time?
I think learning a new language is it's not anything different from the other things that we do in life. I think it boils down to how important you feel picking this language up is to you. Like it's a bit like fitness. It's like I don't know. It's like taking care of the kids. It's like something like in work, right? So for me, I think since I already set this as a goal, then I need to set up, which is the motivation, right? So I know what's my motivation, I know what's my goal, and also have a certain desire to improve. Then for me, how I keep myself motivated is I set this weekly routine. Yeah. Because somehow because I mean I have done content making before, so I thought, hey, why not I just start a new channel, yeah, to document like it's a form of practice and something like that just for fun, yeah. And I thought those were useful for me because and it's more like accountability. Okay, every week I need to post one video, which means say, okay, I need to practice it first before I can shoot the content, before I can take the video. And through this process, then it's like, okay, I'm actually doing some form of practicing. Then time wise, I think a lot of people think that you need to spend hours on it. And honestly, I mean, unless you are you are really, 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 very, very, very into it, and that's very intensive, then I think so be it. But if not, I think every day just set aside 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whichever, whatever that works for you. Just even one sentence and repeat it for a few times. Yeah. 5 times, 10 times, and it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to do that. Yeah. I think that's good enough. Yeah. So it's about muscle memory. Yeah. So I think that's how I do it. And one useful thing that I find myself that worked for me is I mean the dictionary, just like when you learn English and Chinese, we have the dictionary thing. Yeah. So every time I come across new words, I do not know what that is. I just search it up and I was like, oh, okay, roughly, you get some understanding. Whether you can remember it, okay, that's another thing. But for the time being, just get exposed to as many more as many inputs. They call it inputs and outputs. Yeah, we get inputs and output. We need a balance. Yeah, but for start, I would think output is more important than input. Yeah.
Yeah, you told
Mm,
me interesting word like muscle memory and output. And
mm,
I can see a lot of people actually spend the time of more input. They actually use a
mm.
lot of language apps, or even
Yes, yes, yes.
I have heard so many times, oh, I like Japanese drama, I like watching
Mm,
Japanese series, and they
mm,
have so much input, and they say that
mm.
it's after watching so many things, I still cannot talk.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's more, our training is about muscle memory.
All
It's
right,
like
yes.
you learn the sentence as package, not just dividing a small pieces. So
Yeah.
what do you think about those, the most, because people say I have to learn those small thousands of pieces to really build the sentences.
I think, if we bring our logical mind into learning a language, that's how we will do it. We were like, "Hey, why is this like this? Why is it like that?" Because I mean, I used to ask all these questions. In fact, I'm still asking. But some things it's just like in English. Certain things it's just like this. Yeah. And whether English or Chinese, yeah. Like to a point whereby if someone asks, why do we say this? I also don't have an answer for that. Yeah. So I think that also applies for Japanese, whereby some parts is just people just don't use it that way and or it just sounds weird. Yeah. Especially I think for Japanese it's even tougher if we put on the very logical mind. Like because Japan I think the biggest difference between Japanese and English is Japanese is a contextual language. Yeah. So it's same words, but it can change a lot if in different situations. And I think that's for most native English speakers, we struggle with that because we'll be like, English, no, that does it's not like this in English. And I think one of the biggest mistake I made is I think I put English and Japanese like they are the same. It's like, or anything that is in English, there should be something in Japanese as well. But the truth is, no,
Mm.
most of the time there will be things that, oh, there's, in English we say like this, but in Japanese, no, there isn't such a thing. So that's why when we translate in Google Translate, you get very weird stuff. Yeah. Then the natives will be like, no, we don't say that. Yeah. And that's the reason we can't rely on translators, because translators can't detect culture. Yeah. And culture can only be detected or be picked up through the natives, through the locals. Yeah. Then that's when we can get.
That's true. Yeah, that's actually one of the tips to really learn the language very quickly, especially like Japanese or English Chinese, how differently it works. By the way, so
Mm,
by doing that, what's changed for your everyday life? For example, you start building a content, you put the goal of like a 10,000 follower on the
mm,
TikTok, or you visit in
mm,
Japan.
mm.
And so far, what's actually like something it's changed by doing this training in your everyday
Mm.
life?
I think firstly, I think through picking up a new language with I think GLF is more than just learning a new language per se. I think it's more of like the process and journey in picking up this language that's more important for me. So I give an example. Like right now, if I meet difficult things, then to me it's like, oh, I can really from someone who speaks zero Japanese to someone who can make some Japanese content. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and to the point it goes viral. That was like, okay, maybe I think I can do more things, right? Yeah, so I think it's more of a confidence building. Secondly, is now people are starting to notice that, hey, Willis is now speaks a little Japanese and stuff, and it's interesting. Yeah, so I think that makes me interesting as a person and helps me in my work, because in my work we do like finance, insurance, and all those things, and that's not something that people are naturally interested in. Right now, I have an additional layer to help me stand out as a person, as a financial agent or whichever. I think that's I think that's more. It helps me. Yeah. Then I think lastly, I think this potentially can also be a form of marketing for myself. I can use Japanese to market my services to capture maybe Japanese clients. I'm not sure yet, but at least for the English side, they were like, oh, at least it's a different language. It's we can see how where this turns out to be. So who knows? Like maybe I'm not sure what's going to be ahead for me, but I think this journey and process has been enjoyable so far.
Amazing. So, what would you say if anybody actually said that it's I want to learn Japanese, but what do I start now?
Mm,
What
mm.
would you say?
I've been asked this question recently by a few of my friends. I think obviously, if you really want to prioritize speaking and listening, you all need to check out JLF, because Japan Language Factory, that's their key forte. Yeah. Then, of course, as we enter into Japan Language Factory, you also need to have some base, like the very basic hiragana and all those things. I think that's a given. Like I don't think that's difficult. That's just memorize a few. Yeah, I think that's fine. Then I think a lot of practice is required. I think having a one-to-one, yes, forgot to mention this. Having a one-to-one coach that can understand English well enough, I feel that helps me a lot. Yeah, because a lot of times when I still need to express myself in English, yeah, but the coach is able to pick this up and then give me the Japanese way of saying it. I was like, oh, okay, that's very different from how I imagined. Because when I imagine, I use my English mind to imagine it, and my coach will be saying that, hey, I know you're using your English mind to speak. Yeah, you need to start to change. And that was like, okay, I have to be more mindful in that. Yeah, so a lot of it's not just teaching, but also about coaching, like the styles to use it. Yeah, so I think that helps me to increase my learning process. Yeah, learning process. Lastly, is I think every time I want to learn something new, there will be many people telling you different things. Yeah, so we have to decide like what's the style you want to work on, and we focus. So right now, I'm focusing on Japan Language Factory style. And I'll just listen, follow, and just see. Then if you want a question, you question next time. Yeah, after you are done with whatever that. If not, you'll find yourselves like feeling conflicted. Like, hey, why this person say this? This person say this. That person say this. And it doesn't help that it's a language, because language it comes from different point of view. so
Mm,
so the last thing that we want is we invested our time, energy to learn the language, only to find that we are always confused. Yeah. So
mm.
yeah, but over here, I mean, in JLF, anytime I feel confused, I just ask. Then you're like, oh, okay. So in this is we use this. In that we need to use that. Yeah. So I think
Right. So, thank you
okay.
so much, Willis-san.
Thank you. Yeah.